In this video, I want to talk about the things that I personally feel like I should have done before coming to Sweden, or immediately I got to Sweden, that would have made life easier for me. There are a lot of things that I feel like it's easily overlooked. You just assume that, okay, I'm going to this country, let me just go. When I get there, I'll figure it out, or I will enjoy myself and stuff like that. Or if you just want to get information about some things that happen in Sweden, then I think you should stick around in this video. I recently got my driver's license, and I can tell you that it's really not easy. Like, it's one of the most difficult things to get. I know it looks like, well, I can drive, I'm a good driver, I'm an expert driver. No, it's more than that. You can drive for the first year you get to Sweden. You can use your driver's license from your home country to drive in Sweden for a year. And then after a year, you need to drive with the Swedish driver's license or any other driver's license from any of the European countries. No, EU, IEU, those things. I don't know. Switzerland. All right, so you might think that, is it compulsory that I have a driver's license to live in Sweden or to work in Sweden? No, it's not compulsory. You can conveniently survive in Sweden without a driver's license. But the deal is, in my own case, I wanted to take some summer job. There are a lot of jobs that you want to take, and then they will require you to have the driver's license. Sometimes you might need to do some errands. Let me use the word errands. You might need to move from point A to point B. I mean, as a staff or as a worker, do you want to pick in the bus? I don't know. I'm just saying that when you look at it very well, the driver's license is very important. Now, the process of getting this license is now where the issue is, right? So let me just quickly run through it. You first of all notify them that you want to apply for the driver's license. You go on the sites. I'll probably put the site somewhere on the screen. So you notify them that you want to apply for the driver's license. You go for your eye test. You would apply for what they call risk 1. Now, I think you can just go to some of this driving school to apply and through the process. So I'm saying this assuming that you already know how to drive. Like in my case, assuming you already know how to drive from where you're coming from. So you apply for risk 1. The risk 1 is you'll be in a class, they'll tell you about alcohol, drugs, driving in Sweden, the law, and things like that. It's just more like an interactive section. Then you apply for risk 2. Now the risk 2 it's more like a little bit of practical. Now you don't need to be an expert in driving. They are not trying to check your driving proficiency, but they are trying to show you the driving conditions in Sweden, right? The slippery roads, braking while going 90 miles per hour, 90 kilometers per hour, just to let you know what to expect on Swedish roads, how your ABS works and how all these things works, how the security features in your car works, stuff like that. The only way you can fail is if you can't press accelerator on a car, or if you can't press the brake, or if you can't hold the steering. Like, stupid, like that would be one of the most disgraceful things in your life if you can't do that. Now, the third process is the theory test. That is where a lot of people fail. The theory test. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Everything that you can think of about driving and road traffic, road signs, everything, that's what you do in the theory. You answer 70 questions. 5 of those questions were just put there for control. Let me use the word control. So, but at the end of the day, they'll score you over 65. So you have to pass 52. There are some tricky questions, right? Not that you don't know the answer, but some very tricky questions that if you don't pay attention, you're going to fail it. We all know that you don't overtake from the right. Like, not even Sweden. I don't know. Most of the countries that I've been to, you don't overtake from the right. Apart from all these UK that you drive in the abnormal way of the road. But we all know you don't overtake from the right. You overtake from the left. There's a rule that if you are driving, I think below 50, you can overtake from the right. Below 50, and the road is clear, you can overtake from the right. So they'll set this question for you, and you see it. You see a picture of a car on your left, and they'll say, can you overtake from the right? But if you look at that picture very well, you see somewhere on the road that they put the mark there, like 50. So if you don't look very well to see that there's a sign that shows 50 for the speed limit on that road, you just assume that you can't overtake. So, things like that. You know it, but they trick you, and then you pick the wrong answer. That's a good example of why a lot of people fail the theory test. So let's say after a while you pass the theory test. Or I hope you pass it the first time though. The last stage is the one that we all know, where you have the supervisor stay beside you, or in a vigilator, whatever it is. And then they'll ask you to drive around the city. They'll check for how you are following the road signs and stuff like that. It's There's a lot of checklists to that. So that's the final stage. And when you are done, I think it takes 50 minutes. I can't remember, 40 minutes. And when you are done, they'll give you your result immediately while you're there in the car. Oh, I'm sorry, you need to take this again. This is what you didn't do well. I did the driving twice as well. That final stage, I did it twice as well. And the reason why I failed the first one was because I did not speed up to merge into the highway. This is common. I don't know how I didn't do that. Like, I did not speed up. Normally, when you're coming from the ramp to join the highway, you should speed up to the highway speed. So you don't go from 40 and then join a highway of 90 and still go 40 while you're joining. No, you need to speed up to 90 from that ramp before you join the highway. So I didn't do that. And also there was something to do with eco driving. You know, make some research on eco driving. When you're driving manual, because I did manual, there's something called eco driving. You shouldn't go more than 2,000 RPM before you change the gear. Your clutch work, and it's just mad. Anyway, so that's it about driving. So finally you get your license, and when you get your license is it's not really yours. It's a privilege for you to have that license. So if you do any stupid thing, they'll collect that license from you. You have to go through the whole process again to get that license back. So it's really a crazy thing. Learn how to drive before coming to Sweden. The process of applying to all this driving school and the money you pay, it's very expensive. Imagine me that knew how to drive. Look at what I went through. Now imagine you that you don't know how to drive and you're coming here and okay. All right, so it's very important. Now, while I would say that Sweden has, to me personally, one of the best type of accommodations I've seen. So for instance, most of the houses I've been to, there's a standard for the kitchen, especially. The house might not be furnished, but the kitchen is always ready to go. Like everything is ready to go. The kitchen is ready to go. All you need to do is put your pot on the stove and then that's it. Everything, the fridge, the kitchen. Like I keep saying it, the kitchen is ready to go. Before coming to Sweden, make sure you do everything possible to secure an accommodation. If you are coming through work permit, maybe you already have an employment, then liaise with your company to get an accommodation for you or to assist you in getting the accommodation. It's difficult when you get here to just get here and then jump on an accommodation. No. Most people have been on a queue for accommodation for a long time. For years, people have been on a queue for some accommodation. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't finally get an accommodation. You will eventually get one, but between that period, you will suffer. I'm telling you. Or you will spend a lot of money, in hotels and stuff like that. I was lucky to get a second-hand contract. So the second-hand contract, someone was going to be away for a while, so they put the house down, for specified, I think for 6 months. So for the first 6 months in Sweden, I was able to live in a second-hand contract apartment. The guy that was staying there traveled. Within that period, that's when I started processing. And when you're applying for some of these houses, you need to have an employment letter, an employment contract, and things like that, which is not something you will likely have immediately you get to Sweden. I got to Sweden and I realized that a lot of Swedes speak English. It's normal in Sweden, yeah. Almost everybody speaks English fluently. If you tune into the radio, you probably hear the songs in English, like all the time is in English. However, when you are applying for a job, that is when it becomes complicated. That's when they'll now tell you, thank you for applying, we wish to get back to you, and those things. There are a lot of jobs I applied to when I got here, and I didn't get them because I can't speak Swedish. So if you're the type that you are good with language and you catch up very quick, then you can start learning before you get to Sweden. You can use all these online apps, Duolingo and all those things. And then when you get here, you can also enroll for what they call the SFE, Swedish for immigrants, and it is free. And it's a thorough class, thorough language class. So you can apply for it, and when you're done, when you go through all the processes, I'm sure you'll be fluent in Swedish, and then you can apply to all these jobs. That's it about language. It's difficult. For me personally, it's difficult because I'm not good with language. But I'm getting there. I'm the type that I need to relate with people more, work in the society, meet with people before I start picking up things, not learning it in a class. I wish you well in your journey to Sweden. And if you're in Sweden, I wish you well as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe. Have a good one. Bye.